So over the last couple of days, we've obviously been talking a lot about the new generation versions of Grand Theft Auto 5 and GTA Online for PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. But what if you're not going to be playing the game on a PS5 or a new Xbox? Or what if you're just simply not going to be getting it right out of the gate? This is not an uncommon thing. Obviously, with the state of the world right now, it's still really hard to get your hands on these new consoles. You just might not be interested in them. You might be waiting for the price to go down. You might be waiting until the summer when you're out of school or just get a break from work or something like that. So today we're going to be talking about a little bit of bad news that might be the case if you guys are going to stay on the Xbox One and the PS4. So this is coming from Rockstar Games insider TezFunds2, who ended up saying this on the GTA forum site. There was a topic that was, how long are Xbox One and PS4 going to get DLC? And he said a source who has been very reliable in regards to GTA Online has informed me long ago that Rockstar was considering dropping support for last generation consoles upon E&E launch. I'm not sure if this plan is still being considered by now or if Rockstar made some changes since then. Even so, considering it was on the table, I think we would see them dropping support sooner than usually expected. Okay, so long story short there, according to TezFunds2, who has a very reliable source, they said that Rockstar was going to be dropping support for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One when GTA 5 launches on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. Although he says some things might be different now since Rockstar made some changes, but even so, he believes they will be dropping support sooner than usually expected. Oh no. So that means if you guys are on the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One, it might be maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months before you're no longer getting updates. Or the next DLC that Rockstar does, if it's in the summer, you guys might not get that one. Because to tell you about what happened when Rockstar went from the PlayStation 3 and the PS4, and then the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One, well, Rockstar basically made it a year. Those games came out in November 2014, and Rockstar confirmed that the free mode events update, which came out on September 15th, 2015, was only going to be for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. It was exclusive to those systems. So the final DLC that Rockstar put out on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 was Ill-Gotten Gains Part 2, which came out on July 8th, 2015. So essentially, Rockstar supported the game for about 6 or 7 months before they said, you know what, you guys aren't getting any more DLCs. Now, back in the day, those 6 or 7 months included a lot of updates. It included a DLC in December, and then Ill-Gotten Gains Part 1 and Part 2, a Valentine's Day update. So there was a lot of things that Rockstar did in that short amount of time that we probably won't see now that we're like 7 years later. But it was interesting, they still only supported those older systems for about 6 or 7 months. So I would imagine that this time around, it might be shorter than that. It might not even be one full DLC that we get. Or maybe, since we usually get a DLC in the summer and then in the winter, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, their last update might be whatever we get in the summer months, June, July, August. And then come December, it might be exclusive for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and S. And Rockstar are going to do this for 2 reasons. Number one, these new consoles are going to allow them to do a lot more. Just like the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One allowed them to do a lot more than the 360 and PlayStation 3 in terms of the content they can add and the things they can do and how smooth and seamless things are going to be. It's going to be the best version of GTA 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online. And then number 2, obviously, they want to promote people to end up buying the new version of the game. Rockstar, Take-Two Interactive, they make video games, but they are in the business of making video games, and none of this matters if they don't make money. So obviously, they're going to encourage people to spend more money, and by saying, hey, you can only get the new content on the new systems, well, that would encourage them to spend a little bit more money. So that's exactly what I suspect is going to be happening. So if you don't have the PS5 or Xbox Series X or S, and you want to continue playing Grand Theft Auto Online or GTA multiplayer, well, you might want to jump on that sooner rather than later, because it looks like support for this entire thing could be ending shortly. Now, a bit more follow-up on the next-gen versions of GTA 5. Video text said, do you think journalists already have access to the game? I asked Alex from Digital Foundry to ask for his thoughts on the port, but I didn't get a response, assuming potentially he's working on a video right now. And TesFunds2 says, I doubt it. Rockstar didn't grant journalists pre-release codes for the trilogy. Why would they do it for another edition of GTA 5 on newer platforms? They are known to only do that with massive titles like GTA 6. Also, files of anything that's about to be released tends to go live a week or two before release. Not always an indication that journalists are playing the game early. So I don't have an early copy. It sounds like your favorite journalist will not have an early copy as well. And that makes sense because it is just a new version of GTA 5. We're not exactly talking about a brand new title here altogether. So long story short, don't expect people to be playing it early. It's, again, as I mentioned, going to be releasing midnight time for you locally. I know that's a little bit confusing. So, like, people in Australia and New Zealand will be getting the game technically first at an earlier point in time than us here in the United States. Wherever it is in your part of the world, midnight, because it's a digital-only release, that's when you're going to be getting your hands on the title. So no one's going to be getting it early, as it looks like right now. And then the last little bit of information, some more follow-up from TesFunds2. Someone said, I can understand why TesFunds2 is buying GTA 5 Next Gen. He will be testing if tunables are already working. And he said, Next Gen tunables are already live and can be tested without the game. So it looks like we're still going to have the ability to see what Rockstar is up to with those tunables, background updates, changes that they end up making to the game, and more. And last but not least today, someone was explaining how a PS4 save game being fully compatible on PS5 means that nothing has changed between the versions, since it means data is fully compatible between both. If I can simply transfer a 100% save game, then the new version offers nothing. Isn't this called expanded and enhanced? Don't really see the expanded part unless it's strictly for GTA Online. This isn't the same as GTA Online progress being transferred. And TesFunds2 clears up the confusion by saying old saves can be fully compatible on newer versions, and Rockstar could still feature new stats on top of that. So again, just sort of clearing up any confusion. Just because your saves can be brought over doesn't necessarily mean you're not getting a good or updated version of the game. It's just the way Rockstar handles save files. They can kind of be transferred from one spot to another. But anyways, I'd love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. If you're not going to be getting the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S version on day one, number one, are you? But also, number two, are you worried that the updates might not last long for you? I'd love to hear from you guys again in those comments down below, so let me know how you're feeling down there. If you guys did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Rockstar Games videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.